See how much of a delay we've got. And 3, 2, go.
All right.
Looks like Pichi's about 4 seconds ahead of Void's right now. So the basic concept right off the bat with Donkey Kong Country, it's a relatively simple game in that you can run and you can roll and jump. The more you're rolling, the better your time ends up being. So you try to maximize that. You're also seeing right off the bat here, kind of a bread and butter technique that's really satisfying to watch. Just call it an extendo roll, where normally if you just press Y, then you'll do a little roll, but it won't go very far. However, if you go through an enemy, that will extend the roll. And if you let go of Y and then repress it at certain points, like they did right there to get higher up on that rope off that Kremling, then you can go much further than the game even intends you to go. So they're going to be able to utilize that to go over a lot of gaps and such throughout the game. Gaps and just obviously just get further on some rolls, not dropping their rolls as much.
Yeah, like the basic concept is for extended is like you really only want to go for it when it can gain you distance, because it's actually like what some people do. What they'll just I don't know. I used to be a habit of mine just extendoing when it isn't even necessary, but it's only faster when it gains you distance.
It actually loses you time in some instances, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't gain like considerable distance off of it, then it's slower because you sort of have to hesitate. You sort of do a little. It stops for a bit when you start the second roll.
You're also seeing them. There are these crawl spaces, which, if you've played Donkey Kong Country, you probably are. Oh, Void!
My God, Void! Come on, no!
Oh, that is an absolutely brutal death. I swear, I've said it many times. This level is cursed. This level is cursed. I always died in this level in my tournament race. I saw people far better than me, including Void now, dying here. I don't know what happens in this tournament, dude. What's brutal about that death is that you don't get a checkpoint.
Yeah, it's true. Like that level, this like 1-3 in general is like a really janky level. Like the crawl spaces are really hard to get accurately, like every single time. And well, the way Void died is I think that death means you waited too long before doing your last jump off the tires, which means you hit the wall and you lose your horizontal speed, which makes you jump straight up into that guy. Just how Void died, and a lot of people die that way.
It's one of those levels, I find it one of the hardest levels in the first half of the game.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's definitely up there.
I think it's like this and maybe like Temple Tempest for me in the first half. Because it's one of those where, like, when you screw up one thing, the spacing for like everything else in the level just gets messed up. Everything feels like it links together. So.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, that was probably deaths that late in that level can cost upwards of like 25 seconds. So that is a huge advantage for Pichi right now. As you can see, a full level ahead. But,
avoid dropping spoilers in chat, maybe.
Oop.
I don't like the look of that.
Uh-oh. Well, let's see. All right, so he's coming down. Getting the extendo here. Yep. Okay, he didn't whiff the gag.
It's fine. So,
okay. Yeah, probably an oop off of 1-3. I know. Whenever I see someone take the time to put a score chat, I'm the same way. I'm like, uh-oh. That does not bode well.
Well, I don't think keep a safety Donkey Kong, because this Donkey loses, well, is it 10 frames for every level? Because you have to wait for him to come over to Diddy on the world map. And so, 10 frames like every level adds up quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some people in tournament races. I know some people would die there in 1-3 and then just go back and take it. Go back and the second time they play, they just take Donkey just so they don't take that huge of a time loss. Because odds are, 10 frames isn't going to be a big deal, but a lot of it also, when you're in tournament races, you're not you don't really think any differently than you would from like an RTA standpoint. Even if like whether you make the argument that's smarter or not, just a lot of runners don't do it. They just play their game the way they know it. They do the same strats and everything. But anyways, Peaches in here once again jumping through these crawl spaces. I didn't get to finish explaining it earlier because Void took the death. But yeah, effectively you can just spam jump if you roll into the crawl spaces. Ooh, Pichi taking a death. Every time I talk about crawl spaces,
not a death.
They don't like
he got hit.
Yeah, taking a
he got a B skip, which is like you have to time your jumps through the crawl space in the middle of the level, and it lets you skip waiting for the bees, and it saves like 3 or so seconds. And it's a really hard trick. Like I spent hours trying to find a consistent setup for it.
Yeah, definitely one of the hardest strats in the first half of the game. Very able to hit it as well. Yeah.
Outside of the frames, it's probably one of the hardest things to do.
Ooh, Void loses Diddy as well. Having to play as Donkey, never a fun time. Getting Diddy back here is practically built in though, because you actually, in addition to taking this secret exit here, or the secret warp anyways, you get a Donkey, Diddy Kong, or the DK barrel, which is good because for this next level, you just saw the super jump on Pichi's screen where he's taking damage in weird ways. You need 2 Kongs to do that. So to explain that, Void's going to be coming into Millstone Mayhem. There's a secret barrel up off the top of the screen that only Donkey can access. So by having Donkey take damage the way he does, you see he kind of shoots straight up into the air off the death animation. That stores a super jump. So he's going to take damage with Diddy, hold B as he auto bounces onto that enemy right there, and it will skyrocket Donkey into the air.
Yeah,
allowing him to get into that barrel.
That's gonna happen. Well, it's useful several more times, but you're only gonna see the super jump version one more time.
Yes.
Void taking yet another hit.
Ooh. Maybe a little pre-match jitters.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he's generally a guy who necessarily gets nervous. He's a very competitive guy, but it's we kind of come to underrate how tight all the inputs are in this game when you're going for every little optimization.
Oh yeah.
Once again, the other Donkey Kong exclusive barrel right there. Taking damage in that bird fight really doesn't cost much of any time because it just means you get to run through the first part of this level with Diddy. So it's a couple extra swaps, but it's not the biggest deal.
It's a few seconds. Oh, Pichi, why?
Ooh.
Why would you go for that when you know you're ahead?
I can't. Well, it's always a question.
Honestly, I can't agree with his decision to go for that because. It's understandable if he didn't know he was ahead, but like, I really just don't understand. You're this late into like tournament, and I just don't understand. I really don't.
That might close the gap right there. Let's see if Void.
It does. I'm assuming if Void gets a super jump, it's straight up tied. Yeah, it's pretty much tied now.
And Pichi takes a death! Oh my god!
Dude.
What happened? So, I don't know what I think Pichi was going for an older strat there, where you try to maybe, like, jump up off the top of the screen.
Oh yeah, that's ancient. That's like 2012 strats.
Which, he's been around that long in this scene, so I'm sure he's pulling out some strats that he maybe has not tried to do in years. Because,
believe it or not, he's done that recently because he's been playing the No Major Glitches category, where that's how you play this level.
Well, he was able to get the super jump this time. For anyone who doesn't know what we were talking about, like, why would you go for that? It's a super jump roll. And from what I understand, that is the riskiest one to go for.
Yeah, by far, no doubt.
Because if you miss it, you don't get this, like, flying through the level, and you lose quite a bit of time.
It's also, like, you have to have the quickest reactions on it, because you have such small space, like, running up to the guy that you have to super jump roll off, while the others you have quite some time to react. So it's definitely the hardest of the three.
Wow. Void able to hit that Omega back there. This is a level that normally you're going to want to do with the bird. I guess normally when you play through it with Espresso. However, if you do it optimally, you end up saving, I think it's about 5 seconds. If you do
Around
it
5, yeah.
It's really the level where you're just forced to learn how extendos work.
Yeah, definitely, because if you don't take the bird, like, you're extendoing through like every set of enemies. It's like the level was built for extendos.
Void able to hit the map warp, a wrong warp on the map, oddly enough, how we got the name, map warp, that allows you to just go to the end of Orangutan Gang instead of having to play the whole thing. Void able to get it first try, so Pichi a little bit behind after that huge mistake. Let's see if he's able to match him. Doesn't necessarily need it first try here. Okay, both of them able to nail it first try. Again, that is a frame perfect trick. Not the biggest deal for these runners. It's actually one of the easiest frame perfect tricks out there. Even if you can mess it up a number of times, because you can just continually go for it and you can hit all of the face buttons.
Yeah, and not only that, you don't have one frame you can go for it. You can just continually mash your controller.
Yeah.
And just hope that one of your inputs is on that frame.
Void able to not even lose on guard there at the end on that. I almost call it a cloister. I'm just throwing that out there. So not even that big of a Pokemon guy. So coming up here on the boss, able to get that early hit by effectively jumping up as high as he could with Diddy and then releasing the barrel at the height of it when he knew it was going to touch the bee. So once again, like, this is a run where 95% of the time you want to be playing as Diddy. Very little donkey action in this run. So as little as you can, swapping back and forth would be good. Alright, Void finishing up in over 12-minute time. Not a time in an RTA setting he'd be happy with, but has recovered nicely. Really nothing major for him so far outside of the death in 1-3. However, the game's about to get much, much harder as we go into Worlds 4, 5, and 6. Here in Snow Barrel Blast.
Well, it's like not until after halfway in World 4 where the run picks up.
Yeah, Torchlight Trouble. So
yeah, the first 3 levels in World 4 are pretty easy.
Yeah, nothing too bad. Got a little pretty cool looking a barrel boost right there. There's not too much to that. Effectively, if you jump off of a slope while you're holding a barrel, you just go really far. That's the only application of it in any percent all stages. I think there might be a couple other applications for it in like a 101%, but I don't know that category.
Well, what happened on Pichi's side is he accidentally hit B and I think it's B and Y within 1 frame of each other, which made him jump and pick up the barrel at the same time, and that cost them quite a bit.
It's a bad
frame perfect trick.
It's a bad place to lose Diddy, because you saw how much that level all of a sudden he had to play as Donkey. Showing some good backup stats that he understood how to go through that section with Donkey, though. Ooh, and going all the way down, jumping from underneath the barrel. Maybe feeling a little pressed right here. Knowing that death and that mistake right there, costing him big time. Alright, we got one more relatively easy level here. We're going to be the only level left in the run that still uses Espresso. Biggest thing here is just do not lose Espresso. You lose the bird, it might as well be a death. That's how much time. Ooh, and Pichi rolling underneath the bee, saving himself 15 frames there. Like I said, really going for all the minor time saves. And it's debatable whether he makes that mistake back there or not, if he necessarily goes for all of this. I mean, like I said, there are a lot of runners, especially at the highest level in these tournaments. They just go all out. They just go for absolutely everything, and they see if they can hit all of it. And sadly, we're in a game where a lot of these little things don't matter that much because we've still got a lot of frame perfect tricks coming up that are mostly backloaded in the run. Do you think we'll see rope bridge rumble super jump roll attempts from either of these?
I think maybe Pichi. Definitely not Void. Maybe Pichi.
Yeah, again, Void with a little less experience in this game, even though he's got a ton of Donkey Kong Country trilogy experience in general. Might be a strat. I don't know how much time he's put into looking at that. I want to say Rope Bridge Rumble time save would be like 7 seconds, but I could be wrong on that.
It's supposed to be 7 seconds.
7 seconds.
7, but yeah.
So here
it's
we are.
Supposed to be 7 frames wide, but. So much for that. Like, it's completely different, the number of frames. Like, depending on how you do the setup, the number of frames you have for the rope bridge rumble, super jump roll can vary.
So here we are in the halftime show. Been a bit of a crazy run so far. Both players making a couple of major mistakes. Still certainly anyone's game right now. Void with, I would say, about a 30 to 40 second lead on Pichi right now. Void, if you guys are joining us late, Void taking a death in 1-3 near the very end, costing himself about 25 seconds. Taking a few other unintentional hits here and there, but other than that has kind of recovered nicely and has maybe settled in. Whereas Pichi had a very good start to the run. Unfortunately went for the super jump roll in a 3-3 in Force Frenzy, but unfortunately, the real unfortunate part was that he missed it, and then died afterwards trying to go for some older no major glitches strats. So that really being the cause of the difference right now. His major mistake just bigger, much bigger than Void's major mistake. And so Void getting out right at sub 17 minutes for Croctopus Chase. That's the end of the halftime show. Now the run really begins, to be honest. So many very, very difficult platforming stages and frame perfect tricks from here. Starting with Torchlight Trouble. Lots of interesting back boosts off these enemies. Jumping off the very edges of these oil drums. Other than the very center of the oil drums, the flames do not hurt you. Over a tight jump right there. This is, while it's only like a 30-second level, this is legitimately a very scary level. And Pichi getting out at 17:35. So yeah, about a 36-second gap after the halftime show. And Void right now going into Rope Bridge Rumble. This is also a very scary level. Gotta do a lot of tire rolls, kind of in the same way. The center of the tires will bounce you up in the air, and if you try to roll off of them, it'll just eat your input, and you'll just fall and die. So he has to make has to be very careful. Opted out of the trick. And barely saved himself there with Donkey. It looked like he had it there, just kind of opted out of it. Maybe got a little bit worried that it's going to be a little too tight. So he's going to have to do this ending with Donkey now. So this is definitely costing him a number of seconds. And Pichi hits the super jump roll. This is going to close the gap quite a bit. I was looking over at Void trying to survive. See, so Void had an 18:37 boss entrance. Where Pichi, yeah, he just about cut that lead in half. 18:37 to, yeah, it went from a 36-second gap to about a 17-second gap off of that. Interesting to note that both players are going to be going for the Oil Drum Alley super jump roll. There's a more normal strat here where you can... Pichi can't get the hit there. Oh, no, you have to wait. I'm unfamiliar with this. Normally, you would take damage with Donkey there to reduce the amount of times he jumps, but instead, both these players going for the super jump roll. Looks like Void is able to hit it. Nice recovery off of the last level. Pichi's gonna have to answer here as well. Joe, I don't know if do you understand how to explain? I've never gone for super jump rolls, so I don't know how to explain how these work. Oh, maybe we have lost Asuka. All right, Void able to get out right at the 20-minute mark. Unfortunately, Pichi missed the super jump roll himself. So having to play through the level normally. It's, for me, I love the... Ooh, taking damage there. If he bounces just a couple times here, we're talking... Oh! He bounced one too many times. He bounced once there. Oh, very disappointing Oil Drum Alley death there for Pichi. A little disheartening after you nailed the super jump roll of Rope Bridge Rumble here. And now having to play a lot of the level as Donkey once again. Void also taking damage back there in elevator antics. Definitely been an eventful race to say the least. Void, I look away, I look at one person's screen, I come back. Void's playing as Donkey again. What happened? And this is particularly not a level that you want to get stuck playing with Donkey on. Finally able to get back another Diddy Barrel. He's coming up on an early elevator cycle skip, so he's able to get it, turning the camera away there to manipulate it, and able to nail it. Very nice. Ooh, Pichi going for the roll into the gap right there. That's a very risky strat. Because once again, you mess it up, you just lose Diddy, and it's a tight frame window. Whether these players are watching the other screen or not, I can guarantee you both of them are feeling like, I've made so many mistakes. The other one's probably having a great run. We do have Void here in chat. I know, at least he was earlier, so maybe not. He might know where Pichi's at. One of those where if you had a coach for the race, they might tell them, you should play this a little bit safe because the other one's making a lot of mistakes, but fun to see both players just going all out. Void able to carry Unguard, looks like just about to the end of Poison Pond. Looks like he's going to be able to have a very clean Poison Pond. Electing to not go for the triple mincer skip, which is a pretty normal strat to opt out of this late in the run. I can pretty much tell you right now, Peach is going to be going for it. Alright, so he's coming up on it right now. Goes for the triple mincer skip, and he's able to get it. It's a very nice end of a few seconds there. However, Void hitting another frame-perfect trick, able to get the jump roll on the left side here in Minecart Madness. This one doesn't save a ton of time. I've been told about 4 seconds, because you're already going to be doing the rolling through the air glitch. Which is a very simple automatic trick that should be able to pull off. Let's see if Pichi is able to match here or not. Swaps to Donkey, runs into the cart instead of jumps into it, which puts you in the state where the game still thinks you're on the ground effectively, and then you can just continually roll through the air. Not able to hit the jump roll. I do know there's like a couple of backups. Looks like he's electing to just go for the regular rolling through the air glitch. That one, again, not a huge deal. Probably costs him about 4 seconds over Void. And even with this gap right now, this can still be made up in the very next level. The first one of World 6, I should say, Tanked Up Trouble. Void with a very sexy extendo right there, going through Blackout Basement right now. A very scary level. Obviously, the lights are continually turning on and off. Every 62 frames, oddly enough, that's when they'll turn back on and off. So you do, in a lot of ways, just have to have this level memorized. Looks like Void having a very clean one right there. A pretty good World 5 we're seeing here by Void outside of the trouble that was Elevator Antics, which looked like it was kind of spaghetti all over the place. But hit the super jump roll, hit the jump roll, had a good blackout basement, had a good poison pond. So probably overall you'll take that here in a tournament setting. Here you'll see one of the only actual legitimate uses for Donkey Kong in the run, I'll say. After this set of enemies by Void, he'll be swapping to Donkey Kong because the last two groups of enemies, Diddy can't jump on them. He can, but he won't kill the next group, and he have to jump on the last group twice. So Donkey saves a couple of seconds here, so good for him. He saved time. Pichi able to have, looked like an even cleaner blackout basement. So, looks like Void's going to have a 25-40, we'll call it, banana drop there for World 5. Pichi in this boss right now. I'm going to estimate we're going to be at about a 40-second gap right now between them, which can all be made up if, say, Void misses the frame-perfect trick or tricks in this stage, and Pichi hits either one of them. Even Bird Tut, I think, makes up this gap right now. Also, Pichi getting in those slap slides right now. Very nice. So, to explain how, again, this is a trick called jump rolls. And it's a frame-perfect trick. Let me just clarify the time here. Yeah, it's about a 44-second gap right now, which is almost exactly what a Bird Tut difference is. So we'll see Void coming up now. He's not even electing to go for Creme Tut. Effectively, on the frame, you would bounce on an enemy. If you press Y to initiate a roll, then you fly through the air. Let's see if Void can hit it. He does not. So this is the golden opportunity for Pichi. Despite all the mistakes, despite going for all these strats and sometimes missing them, this right, Void showing the consolation prize, able to hit the frame. I mean, right here, Pichi, if he hits either one of these, he doesn't even need Creme Tut. He needs Bird Tut, and this is like a tied race, ladies and gentlemen. What are the point of the slaps? Because they're swag. They don't save any time. All right, he's going for Creme Tut. Was not able to hit Creme Tut. That one saves about 50-something seconds. Here's the big one, though, Bird Tut. This is the one a little bit easier. Wasn't able to hit it either. Unfortunately, neither player able to hit the fabled Tuts, the Tut jump rolls. So that was an absolutely golden opportunity there by Pichi. That would have pretty much tied up the race. It allows you to just fly through the air, as you've seen with a lot of these jump rolls. And this being the stage where it matters the most, because as you can see, can't go fast in this stage. We've got an auto-scroller. So Void able to get out of there. While he's not able to extend his lead, he did not lose any time to Pichi. So from here, it's definitely going to be tough. However, there is one super jump roll and one jump roll left in the run. So this gap can still be made up. It's going to be much harder now that Pichi was not able to pull off the jump roll himself. This is the only level in the run, Manic Mincers, where we get to see Rambi. He sucks. They actually build in input delay for him. Ooh, and Void losing him a little bit early. That's going to cost him a handful of seconds. Normally, you want to effectively use Rambi as a Yoshi to just jump into a couple of those spikes and skip over some waiting on those platforms. But probably only a handful of seconds lost right there. But that does mean an opportunity for Pichi. A little bit cleaner getting onto Rambi there. Didn't slip on the slope, so he was able to get onto him immediately. Also, Rambi has this thing where he likes to auto-charge. Same with On Guard, if they're too close to an enemy or an object. So you have to be very specific about your spacing right here. Looks like Pichi able to get through those mincers that Void was not able to. So now he should be able to use them here and get that damage boost. Very nice. Get a little back boost. Void going through Misty Mine the quote-unquote normal way, at least normal for speedrunners. not either he didn't get or he didn't go for the super jump roll, was not able to see. Oh, didn't have Donkey right there, so yeah, it looks like that probably meant he went for it, was not able to get it. Let's see if Pichi's able to get it here. This is his biggest opportunity left. Not able to hit it either. Pichi given some opportunities here by V0oid here in World 6, but not... you can't call it choking in any way. They're frame-perfect tricks. Just you almost got to get a little bit lucky to hit them when they're that low. When they're that low a frame count. So he's at the point where just even hitting the jump roll in platform perils will not be able to make up this gap. He's going to need V0oid to take a tumble. And you're not often from players at this skill level going to see any deaths on, say, the bosses like K. Rool or the Bird. Not to commentators curse them, but I'll go ahead and take that risk. I think the players probably be fine there. So you've just got loopy lights and platform perils left. Which, if you don't hit the frames in a platform peril, or hit the frame in platform perils, that can be, I think, one of the scarier levels left in, or just in the game in general. So, it's like Pichi able to get into loopy lights as V0oid is getting near the end of it. V0oid electing to opt out of a couple of tire rolls right there late in the run, maybe trying to nurse this lead and take the win. You knew this was going to be a very competitive, scary match for both of them today. The winner moves on to the final four, losers going home. Alright, so V0oid entering the final platform, effectively the final level of the run. You're seeing little safeties, little subtle safeties there. Yeah, doing a couple little strats differently that are only costing him a few frames apiece. Yeah, not taking that back boost. And V0oid, with that, pretty much clinches the first match. Yeah, not 100% sure if we're doing all three today, but that should clinch it. Hits the final frame-perfect trick of the run. This one's going to save him optimally anywhere between 8 and 15 seconds, depending on what strats V0oid would have gone for. Yeah, that should lock it up for our boy V0oid. Pichi, see if he can match him here, but unfortunately, he's going to need a death on K. Rool at this point. Ooh, Pichi not. Unfortunately, World 6 frame perfect tricks were not kind to either of the players. Between both of them, V0oid only able to hit one of the 6. Or between the two of them, they were only able to hit one of the 6. Platform Barrels, though, I will say, is a very cool level when done without the jump roll. You get to see a really cool double extendo back there over a pit with Pichi. And then just optimally doing this last barrel throwing section is really nuts to watch. Ooh, Pichi not able to hit it, not able to get to that last jump, though. It's effectively the last jump of the level. And did not hit the checkway, the midway point. Unfortunately, yeah, I am doing this commentary solo. My partner in crime, Asuka, was not able to get his net going, so he had to drop out of commentary. Pichi once again, though, not hitting that midway point. Getting that double extendo over the pit there once again. It's just a sexy trick. Very nice. I do see V0oid is playing as Donkey. Don't know. maybe a little bit of a celebration right there. A little bit of swag. Pichi able to hit that final barrel throw right there. A little disheartening since that was right at the end. And both players just finishing off the final bosses here. So definitely, I mean, obviously a big win for V0oid here. Looks like he's going to have a low 35, which both these players tell you they did not think a 35 would win a match between the two of them. Kind of rough runs for both players, but All that matters is that you finish before your opponent. And again, the winner of this will be going on to the Final Four. I believe the winner of this will face KBZ after his Elite 8 matchup win against FS Lynx. And with that, Void finishes off with a 35-19. So GG to Void. Who came in chat to let us know he got a gold K rule, which did... He must have swapped a donkey on the right before the end. Oh, I guess, would that technically be optimal? Nah, because he got a switch. Probably not. Oh, it is actually optimal? Oh, okay. Because I guess you're swapping to Donkey. Donkey has a slightly faster celebration. I figured it would even itself out, though. I don't know. Ooh, Pichi taking another death, though. I don't trust Donkey's fat, dude. And it looks like Pichi's going to be forfeiting from the race. Just putting that run behind him, man. It does look like we are going to be having our best 2 out of 3 today. That's, I mean, that's a tough one. But in a lot of ways, what's good about these 2 out of 3 matches is that you effectively get a warm-up match. Obviously, it's nice to just win the warm-up match. Void, because, I mean, Void will tell you right now, that run was not very good. 35 is something he would not be happy with under any circumstance, even if it is a tournament setting. But... so hopefully that will kind of allow him to look past those mistakes that he made throughout that run. After the death in 1-3, had some trouble in elevator antics in World 5, and just couldn't hit some frame-perfect jumps here and there, which is pretty natural. PJ having a number more mistakes, but I mean, you see the play quality. I mean, either one of them could win these last 2 matches. I wouldn't even say that's a rage quit, honestly. I think at that point, you don't need to practice K. Rool. And we've seen the ending of Donkey Kong Country a million times. This is a tournament race. To me, when you know you've got one, hopefully for Pichi, 2 more races to go, just get out of there. Just forget about it. Go into the next race. Kind of wash your hands clean. Really? That's interesting to me. I guess yeah. I mean, I can understand. Yeah, once again, it's like 10 frames you're saving getting to that barrel. But aren't you gonna? Is it gonna waste some time blowing up the barrel and just the either taking damage or swapping Kongs anyways? I don't know. I'll trust you guys. It's faster. Yeah, it apparently is faster to finish the game with just Donkey, or at least go into the final boss with Donkey. Yeah. I mean, truth be told, it's probably a little bit of salt on Pichi, but honestly, I think almost anyone in that instance, just that is so far below what you know you're capable of. Just get rid of it. And know that you've got one more race coming up. I'm sure Pichi would have finished the run had that been the last race of his tournament life. And yeah, I agree. This does have great music. The whole DKC series has quite a good soundtrack. So how's everyone in chat doing today? We're resetting up for our second out of potentially up to 3 matches right now. Again, this being the quarterfinal match, as you can see in the title on the bottom. Let's see a DKC2 100% match. Yeah, I'd like to see another DKC2 tournament. These DKC tournaments have been a ton of fun. V0oid coming in second place to Feast, Japanese runner in the DKC2 tournament. Seeing if he can place a little bit better here. Tall mountain for him to climb today, though, having to beat 2 out of 3 times the world record holder in this category, Pichi. Although Pichi's matches, at least the race results I've seen, have not been particularly great times. In the pools matches, there's a reason why he ended up only being seeded 9th, I believe, coming into the bracket portion. I think he said himself he was screwing around a little bit, was getting a bunch of 36s and 7s, which, considering his record sits at a low 32, I'm sure he'd tell you not necessarily his best times. But again, that's the nature of this game. We just saw, I mean, the winner had a low 35 right there. I had said it, once it got down to about the Elite 8 of this, which is where we're at right now, I really thought anybody could win any of these races. Anybody left could win this tournament. I think that's part of the fun of, at least as a viewer watching the Donkey Kong Country tournament. I'm sure the players themselves would tell you it's super frustrating. What's up, Samurai, man? I'm doing good, dude. I woke up like 10 minutes before this race started. Woke up to V0oid asking if anybody could commentate the match. I mean, man, this is just the game. Like, you're never going to be consistent at this game. I mean, there's different levels of consistency, but I mean, Pichi's been playing this game for like 5 years now. He's been running any percent all stages for years and years. He just got the record in this back a few months ago, and it was like a 4-year journey for him to get it. So the fact that it's all that and you still can't be quote-unquote consistent at it, like that, it kind of shows how brutal this game is. And the fact that all these frame-perfect tricks in an RTA setting are just at the end of the run. It's so backloaded. It's not over. You're here in time for the second race, actually. Out of potentially 3, Pichi does need to win this or his tournament will be over. V0oid just needs to win 1 out of these last potentially 2 matches, and he'll be good to go. It looks like they're going in the race channel. We'll see them starting relatively soon. Pichi trying to knock himself down right here. I mean, I wasn't trying to say you were bad. Good to know both players are listening in on the commentary right now. I don't know if Speed Gaming itself necessarily has a Discord server. We're just chilling in the DKC tournament Discord server. All right, so V0oid getting that start. Looks like Hippie might have not seen the start of the race. So I don't know if we'll get a restart here or not. Yeah, looks like we're calling for a restart. Yeah, Hippie straight up forfeited from the race, so we'll just have to wait until we get a hold of V0oid. V0oid can't be bothered. He's just, I'm going, dude. This is my 32-18 right here. Nah, okay, V0oid quit from the race. But that's good. That was a very solid first minute of the run there by Void. That was a solid warm-up, yeah. Hey, man, that first minute, you gotta hit 2 extendos. This game, like, it starts off, like, it hits you right in the face at the beginning. They're like, all right, man, you're 3 seconds into the run. We want you to lose Donkey, and we want you to do an extendo across half this level. This game doesn't mess around. All right, again. Now we're going in the race channel. Let's see who... Let's see... The delay will be on this. Ooh, that perfect sync. That was sexy. All right. So, once again, guys, we're going to our second out of a potential 3. It's best of 3 matchup between Void and Pichi. We got the DKC1 world record holder versus the DKC2 world record holder. DKC2 world record holder took match 1. Void needs 1 more to get out of here. Pichi, winner go home situation right now. Let's hope he's already at home. All right. Pichi getting through about frames faster. Doing a little faster setup at the beginning to lose Donkey. For anyone who doesn't know, you want to lose Donkey right off the bat because every level that you enter, like Donkey, I don't think really causes anything in the way of lag. Not that I've ever been told anyways. However, on the world map, when you have 2 Kongs, it takes an extra 10 frames for the second Kong to get over to where the level is. So you have to wait that much longer to enter the level. And those 10 frames can add up. In a tournament setting, I've seen some players just elect to keep Donkey or get Donkey at a later point. Because usually that handful of frames isn't going to matter. I mean, we just saw in the last race, that ended up being like a 2-minute gap. Both of them getting their roll through the barrels. It's a little subtle technique, but Y does almost everything in this game. Particularly, it will run for you, and like you hold it to run, but you also need to release it and repress it if you ever want to start a roll or a cartwheel with Diddy. So whenever you're going through like a barrel, you want to roll through it. You have to release Y right before you get it. And then right before you would pick it up, and then repress it right after you pass its kind of pickup box. Very good for Void there, I'll say. Was able to defeat a demon right there. Got past the end of 1-3. So, very nice there. You're saying 1-3. I believe Reptile Rumble is the name of the level. So, Pichi with just a very small lead here. Again, you do have still... It's a player in Pichi who has been playing this game has years of experience on Void, so lots of subtle frames that even I'm not going to be able to point out, even me, but even the guy sitting here watching it, I'm not going to be able to necessarily point out where a lot of those frame saves are coming from. Void getting caught right there on the way up, maybe being a little overly cautious, trying to stay away from that shark. Generally in the water levels, you just don't ever want to lose on guard. He is the way with that charge animation. He is the way you're able to go fast in these levels. Even Spike. Man, I made this game. So here's going to be the first level where they're just going to force you to pick back up Donkey Kong. You cannot avoid him there. There will be a couple times in the run where we do want Donkey Kong for whether it's a damage boost or a super jump or a couple barrels he can only get to. There's one like actual use for him, where him being stronger actually matters. But yeah, for the most part, we want to avoid him. Pichi able to exit at a 3:23. Void able to exit at a 3:20. We'll call it 7. So about a 3.5 second lead, I would say, for Pichi going into the first boss. Not a huge gap. A lot of times with World 1, as long as you can avoid like a major death, like Void had in the first race, it's really just kind of jockeying for position. Coming here into 2-1, we got Winky's Walkway, which, for everyone who doesn't know, Winky is the frog. We're never going to see him in this run, just so you guys know. does not make an appearance. Pichi able to hit that extendo right there. One of the basic extendos you learned. Feels really good. Looks like there's no way you should be able to get through that bird at the end of it. But you just go fast enough to where the bird is right at the bottom of his cycle, so you just roll through the bottom of his gut in a way. Let's see if both players are able to not play this level. Very good by Pichi. And Void, whether he meant to or not, does grab that DK barrel, just wasting a little bit of time. Once again, like I said, that subtle technique where you can roll through a barrel, you have to release Y during all the frames where you would pick up the barrel. So, not a big deal. Biggest thing you want to avoid is accidentally jumping into that auto blast barrel, which would effectively force you to play quite a large chunk of that level, because you can't just die easily. Both of the players able to get the B skip in the last race. Pichi able to get it there. Let's see if Void's able to match. He is able to, so very nice by both players. Pichi did take damage. Both players also took damage here with Diddy last time. Both of them electing to take the safe strat to just take that little extra tire bounce as opposed to going over that entire gap. Pichi able to exit, and Void once again able to exit. So, once again, keeping this lead consistent. Taking the secret barrel back here, able to blast to basically the end of the stage. And you do notice that rolling through a lot of these enemies that you cannot hurt, like those, and you'll also see one at the end of this level, the naughties that are in the wheels. You have a lot of iframe properties while you're in your cartwheel. So PG able to store the super jump correctly, Void able to as well. Both of them looks like able to get up into the barrel, very nice. Pichi rolling through the enemy and Void rolling through the enemy. Alright, so definitely much, much cleaner. Well, why did I say anything, man? I was just about to say, much cleaner starts to these runs. Pichi immediately loses Donkey there. Getting the optimal hits on this bird is pretty tough, and he's the only bird, I guess both birds technically, only birds in this, or the only parts of actual RNG in this run. Random which side he'll come from, so. Void's going to be able to make up just a little bit of time there. Again, it's not a big deal, because what ends up happening is you would normally just stay as Donkey through this first section, because there's going to be this barrel right here that's just going to appear on Pichi's screen because he swapped to Donkey. So yeah, that definitely did make up a little bit of time. It is just about, I mean, Void's maybe about a second behind right now, so neck and neck right now. This is necky and necky, I should say. This is more what I expected these races to look like. Yeah, we are early, though. So yeah, what kind of ends up happening is instead of having to play through that first part of the level a little bit slower with Donkey, it ends up being... you end up going through it faster with Diddy, but there's obviously extra like swapping animation and picking up the barrel and such. All right, so this was one of the biggest straight up mistakes by Pichi in the first race. Let's see if he elects to not go for the SJR here. Like, he takes the jump roll. Both the players taking the jump rolls right now. Just getting out of this level, not letting this level ruin the race for either one of them. There was a Necky literally on screen. I had to say it. I'm sorry. I'm not really a pun guy, to be 100% honest. But yeah, for anyone who doesn't understand, this is a very slow auto-scroller section. I believe nailing this saves in the ballpark of like 20-25 seconds. But yeah, you're able to just skyrocket off the top of the screen by storing a super jump off of a bunch of damage right there. Not worth going into right now because we're already past it, but yeah, thankfully you're able to fly over the level and save a bunch of time by going a lot faster. Alright, definitely a scary level, one that can absolutely make up this gap and way more. You're having to extendo over these pits. Both players are able to hit the first one, roll through the first two, release, let go, repress under the first rope. Both players able to catch that rope. Very scary looking one there. Able to get to that midpoint barrel. Now, they're both going to be coming up on the Omega up here, where they're going to be doing an extendo, a double extendo. It might be technically qualified as a triple extendo, not sure. But going through them, Pichi able to get over that gap and jump above that enemy. V0oid electing to just go through the enemy at the end, but both players able to nail the extendo, or able to nail that that Omega extendo. So very good on both players. Pichi getting out at a 9.26, V0oid getting out at a 9.28. It is dead heat right now, ladies and gentlemen. Another one that easily can make up the gap. We've got the wrong warp on the map. We call the map warp because we're very creative in this community. Pichi's going to be trying to go for it first try, obviously, see if he can hit it. Able to hit it first try. Can V0oid match? He is not able to match. Ooh, doesn't get second try, third try. That's going to lose him a few extra seconds there. Nothing crippling. I always said I would like to get it in up to 4 tries in any tournament match, but obviously my standards are much lower than these players. Yeah, it looks like it extended that 2-second lead to about a 5-second lead for Pichi. We're in our second of our 4 water levels and the second of 3 that's going to involve Unguard. Once again, biggest thing here, just do not lose your fish. Losing Unguard is almost as bad as just a death, because you swim very slow underwater. As will be on display in Croctopus Chase coming up in a few levels. Yeah, I think that's personally the scariest part, getting through that shark room. Both players moving through Clam City pretty well, though. Ooh, Pichi able to charge correctly and not take damage there. Ooh, V0oid took the damage. It's a very small amount of time since you kind of boost forward. Alright, Pichi able to jump up with Diddy and get that barrel hit. Ooh, V0oid not able to match, so he's going to have to do some backup strats here to kind of get the B back on a correct cycle. It's going to lose a few more seconds for him. Looks like V0oid properly set it back up. Dude, I have super low standards. I'm like, dude, give me a 34. Alright, Pichi with the 11.28 banana drop. Guarantees. Much happier with that. And 11.36. So yeah, we're about a little 8-second gap right here going into World 4. Still, obviously, tons and tons of race to go. We're still very much... The first half of this run, avoid the big deaths and hit the jump rolls, or hit the super jumps, and you're really just kind of jockeying for position. You're giving yourself that time before the race really picks up. All right, Pichi, again, having that barrel here, able to hit it this time, always feels good in that second race. I know I felt it myself in my race with KBZ, where you make all these mistakes in the first race, and then you're able to come back, make some adjustments, and all of a sudden you start nailing everything. V0oid able to hit that extendo into the barrel through those birds right there. Let's see. V0oid electing to... Oh! V0oid took the safety and came up short. The first major mistake of the race for either player. Somehow came up a little short of the barrel. I don't know what happened. And then, unfortunately, loses Diddy. So this is going to be a little scarier with Donkey. He just missed it with Diddy, but he's able to make it with Donkey. So I don't know the next time we're going to see a DK barrel. Again, Pichi going for that 2 for 2 on that rolling under the B, saving him those 15 frames each time. So we'll be doing this barrel the intended way with Donkey. And make sure he doesn't pick up that barrel. Normally kind of supposed to be a Donkey-only barrel. Yeah, I was thinking that. I believe losing Diddy back there caused him to have to play this entire section with Donkey. So we're going to have some classic Donkey ropes right here. Once again, Donkey's fat, and Donkey's not as good as Diddy. So all jokes aside, that is a major time loss back there. Ooh, Pichi trying to get it back right there. Had a little bit of juking around on that barrel. So finally, we're back to Diddy. We're Diddy on Espresso. We're going fast. You make a little bit of time back right now. Pichi with a 14 flat exit of this level. We'll see what the gap is for Void coming out of it. Pichi going into, once again, effectively the halftime show of the run. Going into Croctopus Chase. That was amazing. Pichi was able to save that. He didn't go off the tire, but he was able to get on, I guess, the I believe it looked like he was on the platform that the tire was on. That's impressive. He was able to get onto the part of it that wasn't a tire. So, Void with a 14:31 exit. Yeah, it is a 31-second lead right now for Pichi going into the halftime show. Okay, it was straight up a clip? Yeah, I couldn't tell. It looked like... Because when you miss the tire there, you're going in the pit. You're just going to die. Which would have tied this race back up. So very fortunate for Pichi. Because that's, once again, a lot of the levels that are the toughest and the scariest, somehow they're the ones where we don't get the midpoint barrel. They're just out of the way and slower. This, however, like I said, there are 4 water levels and only 3 of them use on guard. I actually didn't know this until I think it was Zara who said it during commentary. I guess getting on guard in this level, he's at like the end of the level and he causes a ton of lag for some reason. So he's just all around not worth it in this level for some reason. I like that as a saying for this tournament, Tampa. It's still anyone's frame. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, again, to note, there are still 3 jump rolls, and if you're Pichi, 3 super jump rolls left in this run that all can save anywhere between 4 and 50-something seconds. So, yeah, it's, like Champa said, it's anyone's frame right now. Pichi, though, his back against the wall. He needs to win this to tie it up and send it to the 3rd game. Had a bit of a rough performance in the first race, even though Void's wasn't great either. Void able to go faster than his opponent. Pichi with that 16:23 Croctopus Chase exit. Again, now we're going into almost any of these platforming stages can kill you from here. We'll see how all the experience is able to work out for Pichi here. Pichi able to get some back boosts right here, rolling off the ends of these oil drums. And so kind of missing there, getting a little bit slower strat, but kind of as a benefit, hit that checkpoint barrel. So if he messes up this jump right here, which he does not, he's made that jump enough. It would have not cost him the entire level. And so Pichi's able to survive the first very difficult level of the second half of the run. You can expect in this level coming up, Pichi went for it the first time and was able to nail it. Yeah, it looks like I'm not familiar with this super jump roll at all, but again, trying to set up and is able to hit it again. Got the super jump roll there, saving him another 7 seconds, pushing out this lead a little bit further. And we saw in the last race, Void did not even like to go for it. So this one's going to be... it's tough because you're automatically going to lose time even if you do it perfectly this level, and the level's just hard. This level gave him a little bit of a slip-up in the last race. Elected out of a couple of tire rolls and ended up getting him hit, and he lost Diddy for it. Taking the midpoint barrel right there. Alright, so let's see. Turns around to set up these cycles properly. And just mans up and goes for it. My boy Void. Very nice. Alright. And able to even fit in that little back boost off of the army. Very nice stuff. Alright, Pichi automatically going into that next super jump roll. Again, electing to not take damage to the last boss. Now he's going to go for it. Not able to hit it, so that's the first major opportunity for Void to get back into this race. He's not exactly out of it. This isn't... Until you're up to about that minute gap, you're not really overly stressed. But over 30 seconds, you're starting to think, all right, my opponent's got to miss some frames, and I've got to hit some frames. We've got to start hitting that lottery. All right, so Void, same setup. Again, a simpler strat if you're not going to go for the super jump roll is you end up taking damage with Donkey Kong on that last boss. But instead, we like to hold on to him here. Takes damage with Diddy, setting up that super jump. Getting Diddy back, losing Donkey, see if he can hit it. And he is able to hit it, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to cut into that lead very well. We're going to have a 1915 exit by Pichi going out of Oil Drum Alley. But V0oid is making up quick time right here, as you can see, flying through the stage. From here, just knowing where to land. Ooh, fell down a little early, though. He was able to recover off of it, but fell down a little early for whatever reason. Was able to bring the gap down to 22 seconds. So still a good time save right there. Must have messed up. Because you have to know when to let go of B, which is the jump button, when you're up in the air, and it will land you at very specific spots. You optimally want to land right at the exit there. V0oid, for whatever reason, dropped out a little early, as I'm saying. So... Well, I think you could do great, Tampa. I'm going to throw that out there. All right, Pichi jumping out to load on this. I think you're there for the knowledge for me. I'm just making crap up the whole time. All right, so once again, we're going to be turning to the left here with Diddy on Pichi's screen in order to load on these in order to make the camera load in a very specific way and have these platforms load in a specific way. Pichi able to get out of there. V0oid's going to be going for the same, coming up here late. It saves, like, I want to say about 2 seconds, maybe 2.5 seconds. Saves you 1 cycle. V0oid, once again, looking to the left, keeping everything off screen, then rolling. Needs to clear this B, roll off, get under, and go through. Oof. And take a little bit slow there. And Neki likes to shoot his nuts at you, dude. It's pretty rough. All right, another very punishing level right here. We got Pichi and V0oid in Poison Pond. One of the toughest levels casually. Not, I would say, in terms of execution, outside of Triple Mincer Clip, which Pichi's coming up on here very soon. Let's see if he's able to hit it. He hit it in the first race. Is able to hit all of them here, so should be a very safe, a very good Poison Pond. Not safe, he went for the tough strats. Shouldn't lose any time to V0oid here unless he randomly loses on guard at the end. But again, losing on guard here might as well be a death. It's really, really bad. To note, there is a backup on guard late in the level, but it doesn't save much time at that point. All right, Pichi set up for this rolling through the air glitch. Not able to hit it, though. That is a very... I was actually just about to say, once again, that's a strat that anybody can go for. Might have not had enough running. You see him catching that little left right there to make sure he was able to set it up this time. So that is going to just about cut the lead in half. And Pichi not able to hit the frame either. V0oid neither player able to hit the frame perfect trick right there against the first instance of just a straight up the classic jump roll. That one's not a big one, only saves about 4 seconds in the course of this level, since you're already getting to skip over all the mine carts and everything. But still, every second counts in a race like this. Alright, so Pichi able to get out. The reason why they have to jump into the mine carts at this point, V0oid kind of jumping in a little early. Once again, kind of dropping out of these tricks a little early for V0oid. A little odd for him. But there's at the point where Pichi jumped in, there's nothing, it just runs out for whatever reason. Don't know why, but you just kind of hit this barrier in the level where you just can't fly through it anymore. Alright, Pichi able to get out at a 23:11. Definitely lost some time, lost a good chunk of time right there. Keeping V0oid in this race, keeping him in striking distance, there's only about a 9 to 9.5 second gap, I would say, right now between the players. Yeah, this is a very intense race. This is what we like to see on Speed Gaming. And we also like to see this very sexy level in Blackout Basement. Very terrifying level. As you can see, Pichi blazing by the midpoint barrel right there. So any death right here by him definitely costs the lead and costs just a ton of time. Lots of extendos here. Again, for anyone who doesn't know what an extendo is, effectively by releasing Y and then repressing it, which is your cartwheel button, effectively in this game, you can keep rolls going much further than expected. You saw one right there at the end by Pichi to completely clear that gap and clear that final enemy. Void going for the same thing here, getting over the enemy. Because you roll over the ground. Oh, okay. Thank you, Lumophile. Yo, Lumophile rolling deep with that knowledge. Liking it. How'd Void catch up? He was able to hit the super jump roll. He's actually 2 for 2 on that super jump roll today in Oil Drum Alley, while Pichi missed it. And then Pichi also had an unfortunate death. Wasn't a huge death. It was about, it looks like probably about a 12, 13 second death for him at the very beginning of Minecart Madness by not setting up the trick properly. Both players giving us those slap slides. This is what we like to see here. 25 fade out for Pichi. Not far behind is Void, though. And again, we're going into the most crucial level of this race. 25-10. Yeah, we'll call it a solid 10-second lead right now for Pichi. Again, we saw World 6 was not kind. The lottery was not kind to either of these players in the last race. Neither of them able to hit frame-perfect tricks here. Pichi, if he's able to hit either of these, Creme Tut or even Bird Tut, he could effectively hold this lead for the rest of the race and tie this up at 1. As you can see, this is a very dull, boring, long auto-scroller, so they like to skip it. Pichi going for the first one right here. Oh, elected to not even go for it. Maybe didn't quite like the setup right there. All right, so here's Bird Tut. This one can net him 42 seconds right here. Able to nail it, ladies and gentlemen. That is absolutely huge for him. Void is basically forced to match right here. Let's see if he's able to get it. He is not able to hit it himself. He was at least a frame late on that. That is gigantic for Pichi. That is going to be a tough one. Void 2 for 2 on the consolation jump roll. I'm sure that's frustrating for him. Like I said, that's on top of the 10-second lead. That's going to net him about 42 seconds, I believe right there is the number. So that should push out to around roughly a 50-second lead for Pichi right now. Now he's simply, in that mode, he simply has to nurse this lead. He could miss both the super jump roll in Misty Mine and the regular jump roll in Platform Perils and still be a little bit ahead. So he really just needs to avoid the major mistakes. You'll still see him definitely go for both of those since both of them cost so little time to go for. And so they're kind of free shots at him in order to push the lead out even further. If there's any player in the world right now who's had to go for those frames more than Pichi, I'd like to see him. I remember having this conversation with somebody, I can't remember who it was, at a GDQ, at this past SGDQ. How many players have played more of a certain game than Pichi has played of Donkey Kong Country? You can name like ZFG doing Ocarina of Time and like a few other players maybe. But Pichi's dedication to this is amazing. And you can see it on display right here, nailing the super jump roll of Misty Mine. Really starting to put this race out of touch. He's going to need like a K rule death or something to let Void back into it at this point. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Pichi able to land right at the end of the level. Only one frame left that he needs to go for, and certainly does not need it right now. Void needs to match, and he needs Pichi to take 1 or 2 tumbles at this point. That lead probably just went from, I don't know exactly how much time, like a Misty Mine SJR. Again, I don't know SJRs yet in terms of like how many seconds and such they save. But definitely the lead is well over a minute. And Void not able to hit the SJR either. And like I said earlier, the toughest part about it, when you miss jump rolls and super jump rolls, it's not that just that like it's tough to hit them and you lose all the time. It's also that all of a sudden you have to play the level. And a level like Misty Mine can be very, very dangerous. As you can see, Void right there hitting the midpoint barrel. Yeah, that's another good comparison in Nop with Majora's Mask. You go thinking through it. I don't know how many players you can necessarily name in terms of like time dedicated to, say, Stibbity Bobo, Banjo-Kazooie. But anyways, focusing back on the race right here, you got Pichi coming up on the final frame perfect trick. He's had an absolutely masterful World 6 so far. As he was able to hit the last one, not able to hit the final one. You know what? He's going to be winning this race. I'm glad, because I think the end of Platform Perils is very sexy. Now, to note, he died at the end of Platform Perils in the last run, and he just skipped the midpoint barrel. So, were he to have a death here at the end, just saying. Well, hopefully, I do not wish that on. I want to see a third race. Yeah, looks like he is able to. He's going to be able to clear over this. Yeah, Pichi able to safely get through Platform Perils. Very nice job on his end. I would assume after all of this, probably like a 33 pace. I don't ever know exactly what it is from here. I think it's like a minute 50 or something to do K Rool. So is this maybe like a 32? Taking that damage at the end, I think this is a 32. I think this is like a high-ish 32. Ooh, did not notice there. Okay, yeah, I think that was the first entrance for Void. I don't think that was like a death on Void's then. I don't think he like missed a gap or something. Yeah, him working through Platform Perils himself. The frames have not been totally kind. He was able to hit the SJR, the super jump roll in Oil Drum Alley, closing that gap quite a bit, but since then, Pichi just an absolute monster, nailing all those frames. Void not able to hit the jump roll there either. So he is also going to have to just play Platform Perils. I was going to say, Platform Perils ends up being one of my favorite platforming stages. It's a shame it's kind of locked behind something you don't really like to see in missing the jump rolls. Ooh, and this is not good for Void. He's got to play the rest of this level as Donkey, which is just slow, no doubt. He can't skip through cycles nearly as quickly. And have to play a lot of this normally. Ooh, barely getting over that B right there. Ooh! Oh, Void going for... Because I didn't think that was possible, but he was able to get up there but wasn't quite able to make the next jump. Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that Donkey's fat. And when you're Donkey, you are dead. As put on display there by Void. I'm sure he's probably having a... I'm guessing, at least, he's probably having a little bit of a laugh about that, considering he probably knows that Pichi was far ahead at this point. Ooh, the last possible jump. The last bit of platforming in the run, always difficult to see. Void, though, he ain't gonna have to miss that jump again, because he doesn't even have to try it. Rolling deep with that suit, with that jump roll again. I'm sure that feels good, to be 100% honest. I think at the highest level, players want to feel like they're at least like a 50-50 at nailing these frame-perfect tricks. I was going to say, did I say super jump? But able to hit the frame-perfect jump roll, putting him right at the end of the level. Pichi with a 33-20. I guess my timing's a little bit off. I thought that was a high-ish 32, I thought. With that, I didn't notice what was going on in PG's screen. I'm assuming he didn't miss any hits or anything. So, very nice job there by Pichi. One of the best times in the tournament so far. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to tie it up at 1 win apiece. His back was against the wall, and he responded. Ooh, now his game screwed up. I was about to say, Pichi, both times this just, the timer just keeps going, man. 33-22. Well, very nice time. Only 1 minute and 3 seconds off of his PB/world record. So, I'm sure much, much happier with his performance so far off of that. Well, this is what we want to see, ladies and gentlemen. We want to see a matchup like this go to 3 races. Split? Is that? Dude, is someone making a new program? Please tell me that's a new program you're talking about. I will drop live split in a heartbeat. Not the live split's bad, but you give me some flat split, I'll do that. I don't know the lore? Of course I never know the lore, dude. Regardless, there should be a program called Black Split. Oh, that's Black Split? Okay, well, I don't know. I didn't know the name of the darn thing. I'm right around the corner from 30, guys. I don't keep up with what you kids do. Heckin' Spike, dude. These are the things we have to fill the commentary with because K-Rool's so boring. To note, Pichi, otherwise known as New Age Retro Hippie, on SRL improved his race PB by 44 seconds. Oh, is Pichi setting up the Black Split? Oh, we filled up that Black Split? Void able to finish off K-Rool, bring him to the end his reign of terror with a 36-19. GG to Void. Oh, that's Black Split. Thank you, Sinister, showing me the love. And he's got a wrench next to his name. You know that means I'm important. Blah, blah, blah. That should just be a requirement. How customizable is that timer right there? So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to tie it up at 1 apiece. And this is a best 2 out of 3. The winner of this next race will move on to the semifinals. It's not customizable, damn. You can't meme it up in your own flavor. Dang, dude, all these wrenches. We got Rom Scout in here. Rolling deep for this quarterfinal match of the DKC tournament. Oh, that's Dram's? Dram made that timer? Dang, I don't know any of this lore, dude. This is lore, I'm sure, from like 2012, if it's a Dram lore. 5 years later, I've been in the speedrunning community. I don't keep up with it. Dude, what if you had like a super wrench? What if there's like god tier mod mode? They can ban it. They can ban the broadcaster if they want. Dude, Neo, don't even think about going to sleep, dude. Let's hear it in chat, guys. Who do you think's gonna win, Void or Pichi? I want to hear Void and Pichi vote as well. for Void, vote for Void, vote for Void, vote for Void. I was trying to say that fast. What? Bro, don't ban me, dude. I haven't done anything. Might have brought up Black Split a little bit more, so Pichi's got that on screen. Yo, we got those Void OKs in chat. Seeing a fair amount of Pichi love. Asuka, man, showing that pessimism. Are you a sports fan? Because I think the same thing as that. Well, insert my team here. They're probably going to lose. Just simply because they're my team. Dude, I think there was a Mega Man X tournament between, I want to say, maybe like Tiki and maybe Louise. I don't remember who was. It was a DKC2 tournament or a Mega Man X tournament like last year. I want to say that actually ended in a tie, and they were just like, "All right, rematch, let's go." Colonel Fatso versus Nero. That's right. That's right. I got 0 out of 2 players right there. Tiki might have been like commentating or something. I don't know, man. I'm obviously not the guy you go to for those sorts of stats. It goes to a game 7, dude. I'm sitting by the end of it, at the end of game 6, just like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I got my own stuff to do. All because of sudden death, like sudden actual death. I felt like I got the match right. There was like some controversy about one of the players didn't split fast enough or something, and they just went off of race bot. Is there like Nero split like a second late or something? No, dude, that's... We're gonna tar and feather whoever loses this match. It's gonna be pretty rough, let me tell you. Alright, both players starting to ready up. Getting set up. Once again, guys, we got 2 of the most prolific runners in just the Donkey Kong Country series, period. Again, on your left, you've got the DKC2 world record holder. On your right, the DKC1 world record holder. Both of them very, very solid in the opposites game. Void also very, very strong in DKC3. I don't know if Pichi's ever really tried to put too much time in DKC3. I never see it, but regardless, 2 prolific players here. But one of them will not be going to the Final 4, and we're going to be finding out here. I've got RaceBot starting here in under 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so it'll be starting on my end here pretty soon. You guys should be seeing it same time. You guys are on a little bit more of a delay than me. Yo, I am so hyped for this Black Split, dude. Do make sure when you're waiting on this, wait for black. All right, cool. Do make sure when you're waiting on that 1-player, 2-player screen that you're constantly pressing up and down, because it will go back to the title screen, as I found out in one of my races. All right, so once again, Donkey's fat, Donkey's dead. Get rid of him. We're going for extendos again, effectively by releasing Y, which is your roll button, in addition to your running button. By releasing Y and then repressing it at specific spots in your platforming, you can extend your rolls really, really far sometimes. As you saw in that first level, it's right off the bat. I love how quickly this run gets started. It doesn't waste any time. First level and extend through half the level. Blah, blah, blah. Dude, everyone's gonna make that their notification. Interesting to note that is one of 2 bonus levels in any percent all stages where it is faster to go into them, and it puts you far enough forward in the stage. Plus, you just... It's also just because both of the times we use it, you can simply immediately fall off and exit the bonus level. Yeah, 1 of 2 instances in the run where it's a little bit faster to take the bonus. Alright, moving here into not Reptile. Is it Reptile Rumble? Sure. 1-3. That's the classic name for it. 1-3. I always mix up this and Bouncy Bonanza. But yeah, definitely a very awkward, annoying level right here. Lots of jumping through, including a zip through those different gaps. Both players able to hit that. Jumping through. See, both of them can avoid a death right at the end. These guys like to snipe you if your platform is just a little bit off. Both of them able to avoid it. That's good. You don't like to see those early deaths, making that early gap. The shining counter is triggering you. Yeah, I mean, Pichi, bit of a memer. Glad V0oid's not a memer in the least. He's keeping this real professional. Alright. Once again, kind of the same as earlier. Pichi just a little bit cleaner in his movement overall. Again, Pichi, just no matter what V0oid does, Pichi is one of like the top 5 or so players I can think of in terms of hours dedicated to one speed game I can think of in the modern era of speedrunning. So he's just gonna make up a little bit of time on you anywhere if he's not making mistakes. Even if you're playing, I mean, V0oid's very good. I found that out in my race with him where he got a 33.02, which is, I believe, still his PB, actually. Yeah, I kind of threw in the modern era. Basically just of active players that I can think of right now. I'm sure you could go back and find, like, GoldenEye IL players who have probably put in a similar or even more amount of hours. Shut up, Veg, best music. Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. I'll shut up during Crotchbus Chase, so we get like 2 minutes of it at that point. Pichi basically keeping pace. V0oid might have made up a little bit of time right there in that level. I didn't notice how it would have happened, because I think it was more like a 3-second gap. Looks like more like a 1-second gap right now, though. Like a 3-second gap going into that, so... Ooh, unfortunate mistake right there. First notable mistake of the run. Pichi losing Biddy. He's gonna have to take time to pick him up in the next level. Not a big deal, but definitely notable. So V0oid, that actually swaps the lead right there. Just a couple seconds. V0oid with the 354 entrance. Pichi already had loaded it before that, so yeah. Alright, so V0oid able to get the extendo right there. You can tell if he gets it. Pichi might have had to elect out of it due to having to pick up the DK barrel back there at the start, so losing him a little bit more time on top of that, missing out on that extendo. Alright, so yeah, it looks like about a 3-second lead for V0oid exiting that level. Again, I'm personally that guy's commentator. I like to constantly point out little leads here and there, and you can kind of let the obvious stuff speak for itself. But a lot of this in the early half of the game, it is very much jockeying for position. Just don't die! Which, speaking of not dying, Bouncy Bonanza right here, the first truly difficult level of the run. And once again, one that just, we're not going to be getting the midpoint barrel. In order to get the midpoint barrel, you'd have to roll this tire that V0oid is going by right now in order to get up to it. Too slow, just go for it. So far, these players are 4 for 4 on B-Skip. Make it 5 for 5. Pichi going for it as well right here. Can we make it 6 for 6 today? Easy peasy for these runners. Not even close. Also interesting to note that the players are electing to take a slightly safe strat there. Ooh, Pichi did not, though, actually, right as I was talking about it, skipping out on that last tire. If he misses that jump, then he would have lost a ton of time. So, very scary strat to go for right there, only saving a fraction of time. You wonder how much of it is maybe an emotional decision for Pichi after that hit he might have taken, or that he did take against the first world boss. Because you definitely saw him not go for it. It might also not be necessarily an emotional decision, just him. He can tell when he's going to be able to make it and not make it. Again, you have that experience, you can tell. All right, Void and Pichi both here setting up that super jump storage, getting Donkey to jump straight up in the air off of his death by getting him to take damage and then run up a slope. And then both of them able to jump up into that Donkey Kong exclusive barrel. It is very convenient routing-wise that both of the Donkey Kong exclusive barrels that literally, like, Diddy cannot interact with them, are 2-5, the last level of World 2, and the first level of World 3. So you end up, it works out better routing-wise just to do this boss with Donkey since it doesn't cost any time. You're not, like, moving or anything with him. At least not horizontally or anything. And then you're just going to stay as Donkey. Even though he definitely moves through the beginning of this level a little slower than Diddy, it's going to be faster than swapping to Diddy and then swapping back to Donkey here. I know for a while there back in the day, it was kind of a debate. It was kind of a preference whether you elected to swap back to Diddy or not. So Void able to move through that. You do have to be pretty clean about blasting through those barrels. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to lose Diddy there on that last blast over the bees, which you really want Diddy. You can get up to that secret blast barrel with the secret warp barrel with Donkey, but it's a little bit harder. All right, the next big level of the run, big one. This definitely was a big part of what cost Pichi the first matchup. Again, storing that super jump with both with Diddy, Pichi walking into the Kremling and then holding right Y and jump, and that bounces them both up in the air. So both players able to successfully nail that, flying over this level. Now it's simply a point of which, when you're learning this, what you're really trying to do is learn exactly when you let go of B, because when you first hit it, you're skyrocketing off the top of the screen. So when you let go of B, you're slowly falling back down, which you optimally want to land on the top of that cliff, then roll through those last two Kremlings, giving you that extra speed and getting to the end of the level. So nice job there. Nice to see neither player throwing it away on trying to go for the super jump roll there. There is a super jump roll, again, that saves an amount of time that I don't know. That will fly you through that level even faster. But it's very risky to go for. And if you miss it, you don't even get the regular super jump. Seems like if there is one strat that players would just skip out of in the tournament setting, it is that super jump roll. It's also you just don't want to end the match that early. Again, this is a level that you casually want to do with Espresso, but Espresso is locked behind a little bonus level. So it ends up being about 5 seconds slower than if you just really know how to do all of your extendos. Yeah, no, I should have just made up some time, dude. Nah, there's Tampa's in this chat, dude. He called me out so fast. It would not work. All right, now to note, it took Void till third try last time to get Map Warp. Able to hit it first try here, though. Can Pichi match? Yo, shouts to Pichi, 3 for 3 on Map Warp, first try. Again, that is frame perfect, but you can hit all the face buttons to hit it, and you get as many opportunities as you want. One donkey unit. What's up, Coexel? Hope everyone in chat's doing well today. Nice to see a pretty good turnout. Nearly 600 viewers for this quarterfinal match. We are tied up, ladies and gentlemen. Void took the first race. Pichi, with a very strong performance, though, took the second race. The winner of this will go on to the Final Four and face KBZ. Getting down here to the nitty-gritty. we got another water level here. Y'all listen to aquatic ambience right now. Being a little quieter. So I'll just let the music play for Croctopus Chases. There's literally nothing to talk about in that one. There is, but I'll talk about that later. Void able to get that hit there on the B. Missed it in the last run, so anytime in a tournament setting where you've got like a best 2 out of 3 like this, or where you just in any way do multiple matches in a row, when you miss a trick, you love to nail it then there in the next run of it. Can we just make this a best of 5? That'd be fun. I do have to leave at some point, though, so might have to swap out commentators. All right, Void with that 11.26 barrel banana drop. Pichi with the 11.30 banana drop. So, relatively solid. I mean, both players kind of keeping pace with each other. We had, again, Pichi taking that damage on the World 1 boss, which cost him a handful of seconds, and kind of beyond that, I think it's been relatively smooth sailing for both players. Going here into World 4. You're starting to the point where you're dealing with effectively ice physics, where it's not always faster to do your rolls. Sometimes it's faster just to kind of jump over icy gaps. Both players able to hit the barrel boost there, saving them about 3 seconds, I believe. Now, Void fell into the gap in his last race here, making extra sure. That was just very odd looking. It looked like he had the positioning correct to me in the last race, but did not take a tumble there. Both players able to get through Snow Barrel Blast without too much trouble. And the happiest part for Void, he also didn't lose Diddy, so he's able to play this level with Diddy as opposed to Donkey. Now, it is a little bit of a trick right here where there's almost like an invisible, not almost, there is this like invisible platform right above that rope that Void jumps up to. Also, Pichi's done it the first 2 times. Let's just call it out right here. Let's see. Is he going to roll onto the beat? Yep. Ooh, that one was a little tired in the first 2. I thought I was going to jinx him. But 3 for 3 on that roll onto the beat. Again, that only saves about 15 frames, but he goes for it in these races. So, but yeah, effectively you're able to, by kind of holding down, you're able to jump up above the screen and then roll off of that and jump into that barrel. That otherwise you'd have to use Donkey in that last level to get up to the barrel, and it would cost a little bit of extra time to swap between Kongs. Both players not having to do that, though. Once again, just like on guard in the 3 water levels where we use them, you do not want to lose Espresso. You lose her, it's about as bad as a death. Not a hard level, it's really just more a lot of memorization, nothing, no like tight timing or anything. And with that, I'll kind of shut up. The only thing really to understand here is that while these levels, this level isn't very interesting, you want to go around the corners very well. The corners are kind of more curved than they are necessarily like boxes. So, and bonking anything will cost you a fair amount of time because you have to get back up to speed. But I'll let you guys just enjoy the aquatic ambience. Here's the halftime show. You need to come in with some commentary there. Void losing Diddy right there. I actually don't know how much slower Donkey necessarily is in the water, but able to get him back right there, giving back a little bit of that lead. As reported in chat, it was about an 8-second gap for him going into this. Probably dropped to closer to like a 5 or 6 second there. All right, and that pretty much does it for the halftime show. Void getting out at 16:21. Pichi, otherwise known as Blah, getting out at 16:25. So yeah, that water level, probably not all from that damage. I would not be surprised if some of it was Pichi just moving around those corners a little bit stronger than Void. About cutting that lead in half, only about a 4-second lead after the halftime show. So Void able to get that roll and that jumping and that zip all through that crawl space right there. Very nice work by him. It does lose him out on the checkpoint barrel, which makes a couple of these jumps a little scarier. Dude, I'm calling for it. Someone needs to come. We need to get Zem or someone to sing the national anthem. Or at least, yeah, take me out to the ball game or something. After, during Croctopus Chase. They have the time. Ooh, Pichi only 2 for 3 today. Went for that super jump roll. That would have given him the lead back. Was able to hit it the first 2 times today, not able to hit it here. So, Luke missing out on a little bit of an opportunity to make up that gap and take the lead. Looks like Void's had a pretty slick rope bridge rumble himself, including, once again, that beautiful back boost off that army at the end. See if PG's able to match. Not that it's the big trick or anything. I just think it looks sexy. Yeah, both players able to get through rope bridge rumble. Again, PG missing out a little bit of an opportunity there, but again, not a big deal. We're coming up on Worlds 5 and 6. Lots of frame perfect tricks. We got 5 total frame perfect tricks from here that once again can save them anywhere from 4 to, I believe, 55 seconds. So it's about to get big time. Once again, players not electing to lose Donkey Kong on this boss like you normally would do in beginner strats. Instead, setting up this super jump roll and taking that damage with Diddy on that oil drum, taking the damage again with Donkey. Let's see. Oh, Void, an absolute monster at the oil drum alley super jump roll. Is he 3 for 3 on that today? Let's see if Pichi can match. It's kind of imperative he is able to match, ladies and gentlemen. As much as I love Oil Drum Alley, it is nice to see the match from both players. We are flying over the stage. Let's see if Void doesn't drop out of it early this time. Looks like he is not dropping down. Yeah, made sure of that time with a 1903 exit. Pichi about to land himself. We're going to like at about a 1912. So about a 9-second gap right now for Void. That right there, Void able to get it's pretty, the final barrel, the kind of warp barrel of the run over Trick Track Trek. From here, every other level is going to have to be played completely legitimately. No cheating allowed. Void electing to not roll into that gap. You miss it with Solo Diddy, you're dead. Let's see if Pichi elects to go for it. He's just Solo Diddy. Didn't elect to go for it either. Smart decisions by both players. And you see there is the second instance where going into the bonus room saves a little bit of time. Pushes you a little bit ahead in the level. So overall net saves you time. Void loading those platforms on screen, going back, and then jumping onto them once they are low enough. Pichi doing the same. Void coming up on, once again, another bit of a camera trick right here. Facing to the left, waiting till he's very deep, then getting onto there, rolling through, rolling deep, jumping up, going through the necky, and then getting out of the level. Pichi, let's see if he can keep this necky and necky himself. Rolling deep, getting under, saving himself a few seconds from that elevator. Now going into Poison Pond, the next very scary level at the end of this run. This level hits you like this game hits you like a truck in the second half of it. It gets so much harder. Again, any missed inputs here, any missed movements, and you lose on guard. Forget making up the gap. It is a huge time loss for either player. Void coming up now, both times. Oh, Void being a little more aggressive there. Didn't elect to go for triple Mincer skip in either of the first two runs. Man, all of a sudden, maybe a little bit of an adrenaline rush, honestly, from this run so far, and also hitting that Oil Drum Alley SJR. That is very interesting to see because he elected to not go for it in the first two races. Maybe he feels fully warmed up at this point. He'll tell you himself neither of his first two runs were anything he was happy with. A 35 and a 36 respectively. He knows he can get a 33 in these types of races. And is able to hit, I believe that's technically the backup jump roll there. Nails the frame. He's going to save a handful of seconds here over Pichi, extending that lead a little bit. Gonna put this at about a 12 or 13 second gap at the end of this jump roll. Void playing out of his mind. This is quite a World 5 for him right now. Pichi, though, not doing bad himself. That was really the first time, for playing out of his mind, that is the first time Void has actually saved time on Pichi in this world. It's kind of how nuts they're playing right now in such a difficult world. Little bit of a small mishap right there, bouncing off that Kremling for Void. Have to point stuff like that out at this point, considering how close this race is. It's got a lot about. It's not just dying and hitting frames. It is also just the little things. Void exiting at about a 22:41 right there. .41 to Pichi's 51, so about a 10-second gap. Once again, my favorite platforming stage in the game, Blackout Basement. Players have to have the level memorized, and you've got like this extendo right here by Void going through so much of the level, so good. Let's see if Pichi's able to match as well. Yeah, also with that very sexy extendo through the stage. Both players, again, to note, skipping over that midpoint barrel. So any deaths here at the end, which they are solo Diddy, who Void had to make a little bit of a move back there, a good juke on his part to dodge that claptrap. Last claptrap of the level. Ooh, yeah, might have choked up on it just a little bit, knowing he doesn't want to die right there at the end. Pichi able to clear that gap, though. Probably made up just a little bit of time on Void. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a full second to even 2 seconds he made up. Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen. This is, I mean, all the marbles are on the line right now. The screen, they looked tied up there, but different enemies popped out. Void got the claptraps, Pichi got the snakes, whatever the snakes are called. Roly something? I don't know. Yeah, absolutely. Just monster World 5s from these players. Alright, Void getting the 24-26 banana drop. Whew! Let's all take a breath. Let's all take a breather. The 33. Yeah, I would say it is about... Yeah, only about a 7-second lead right now for Void. Again, good though, guys. This is the big one. This very well could be the moment that decides who's going to move on to the Final Four here and take on KBZ. Also, for anyone who hasn't, for some reason, if you're not following Speed Gaming or Speed Gaming 2, drop that follow button. Lots of great speedrunning tournaments, always focused here. I'm sure there's a lot of other tournaments right now. I know there's signups for a Link to the Past Rando tournament coming up right now, so if you're into that sort of stuff, it's coming up. Alright, so here it is. It's a frame-perfect trick that could save Void 42 seconds. He's 0 for 2 on it today. Let's see if he's able to hit it. He's got the setup right. Not able to hit it. 0 for 3 on Bird Tut. This is it for Pichi. Can he take basically the win right now? He is able to nail it, ladies and gentlemen. Pichi nailing the frame-perfect jump roll right there. That is going to put him well in the lead, ladies and gentlemen. If there is anyone out there who has had to hit these frames more, it is Pichi. Pichi, again, losing the first race here, is now going to have a sizable lead, not one that cannot be made up. That gives him a huge advantage, but this is still anyone's race. We've got a super jump roll coming up in 2 levels and one more jump roll in platform perils. I'm sure very frustrating for Void. 0 for 3 on Bird Tut today. Yeah, you can see how obnoxiously slow Tanked Up Trouble is when you don't get the jump roll. Pichi in Manic Mincers right now. The only appearance of Rambi in this run. Ooh, it froze for me right with Rambi in front of the Mincer. So I was like, is he about to take damage? But you want to try to hold on to Rambi. He generally runs through the level a little bit faster with how you can chain some jumps together, but also that damage boost right there to skip over waiting in some cycles. Pichi able to get through with a 27.08 exit. We'll see right there. That probably puts it at roughly a 30-second lead, 35 second lead. Pichi setting up for the super jump roll. He can maybe basically put this out of reach right now. And he is able to hit it, ladies and gentlemen. That is too strong. After a very rough first performance, Pichi just too strong in these races today. That is just about gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen. Void's gonna need a death in order to make up this gap, because this is gonna be about a minute gap at this point. Ooh, and insult to injury, he's not even gonna be able to go for the super jump roll because he choked up the jump just a little bit with Diddy there. Took damage on the Mincer, not gonna be able to go for it. You need to set up your damage in very specific ways in order to store the super jumps in the first place. That Black Timer giving him the strength. I'm trying to think of like how strong this. He took damage on the first boss, and since then has absolutely played like a monster. Well, you know, V0oid had the idea. He was the one who came up with wanting the bracket pool section of this tournament to be best 2 out of 3. Had it been a best 1 out of 1, Pichi's, you know, we're not here right now. The race would have ended. Void moves on. Instead, Pichi just got stronger with each race. I would not be surprised if he's on some sort of a 32 pace right now. Yeah, he, at this point, is a full loopy lights behind Pichi. He's going to need a missed jump roll here for sure to have any shot, and a late death by Pichi. Again, this being the last platforming stage of the run. After that, we just got 2 auto-scroller bosses. Let's see if Pichi's able to hit it. Yeah, was not quite able to finish off this really amazing performance. Did not miss the super jump or the jump roll there. I get them. There's super jumps, jump rolls, and super jump rolls. So I still get them mixed up terminology wise at times. But still, that one's not as big as you would think. If you're going for all the strats Pichi's going for, I think it's only about 8 seconds he loses. So certainly nothing to cry over if you're him. At this point, it's just executing and making sure you don't die, which it doesn't look like he's going to. He's going to be getting out of platform perils. Through that exit, he's done with platformings. Super roll jump, super something or others. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So the only thing left to root for, if you're Void, is that Pichi takes a death on, particularly K-Rool. Even a death on the bird boss isn't going to do it. Of course, he is just Donkey here. I believe intentional by him. He's got one more jump here. One more boop on the nose. able to get it. SRJS's. Hey, shoutouts to Void, though, nailing the jump roll. I was reading chat, I looked back over. Void able to hit the jump roll himself. Giving himself just a little bit of an opportunity. If you are going to see some sort of a death by Pichi and K-Rool, he needs to get into K-Rool himself first. Is this the grand final? No, but this was a big one, honestly. This was a big one to shape who potentially was... A lot of people would probably make the case the winner of this might have won the tournament. And you got the number 1 seed, which was Void, coming out of the pools portion of this. Coming out with his number 1 seed with a 33.02, with that being how the seeding works. PG only the 9 seed, but he is the world record holder. So yeah, I said it, guys. I really thought anybody in the Elite 8 could win this tournament. I think this is kind of putting it on display. You might need Pichi to come back to the pack a little bit right now. There's only a couple players in the world capable of playing this out of their mind over the course of a race. So to note, Void is in K-Rool, so if you are going to see a death with Pichi, ooh, he did take an early hit there. Add a little bit of drama to this. He took an early hit there with Diddy. We've got the fake credits right here. If he were to take damage, the ultimate scoop could be right here. Just to add a little bit of drama, a little bit of edge to the end of this race. All right. Ooh, that was such an early hit by him, dude! He's got the tournament match on the line! He's still going for crownless. He does not need this in any bit. Final hit, can we confirm? Ladies and gentlemen, with a 33.02, matching the best time in the tournament achieved by Void, or at least, actually, I don't know some of the recent matches, so I shouldn't say that, but whoo, that first hit on K-Rool with Donkey, unbelievably tight, loses the race, eliminated from the tournament if he's like a few frames earlier. He does not need this in. Unbelievable comeback by Pichi. He's going to be moving on to the Final Four, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, he got a double race PB. With a 33.02 match. PB by 44 seconds in the last race, 18 in this one. Yeah, unbelievable race by these gentlemen. Especially, Bird Tut. It was an unbelievable race going into Tanked Up Trouble. Really, there was never bigger than like a 10-second gap between the two players. And then Pichi just put it out of reach with a Bird Tut and a super jump roll in Tanked Up Trouble and Misty Minds, respectively. Unbelievable race, gentlemen. I'm sure, and Void will tell you, got that high 33. Can't be too disappointed with that. Really a great performance by both of them. A 33.56. That's going to win you 95+% of the matches that would have happened in this tournament. That was just a little too strong of a time he had to go up against. So, absolutely unbelievable job. Great job, gentlemen. I know... So, unfortunately, this is where you would have some commentary or some... Well, if they want to. Yo, what's up, Pichi? Do we have him?
What's up, man?
What? Dude. Unbelievable comeback, man. Off that. I mean, tell me your mindset, because I'm sure you'll say yourself you were pretty upset with that first race.
This game is stupid.
It's, did you feel any sort of, I know you probably knew you kind of had to go all out today Void, obviously not a weak opponent. Yeah, he was the #1 seed going into the bracket section. Did you feel like there was any nerves to it, or did it just the game's just tough?
Okay, so I woke up at like 9 p.m. Yesterday, and then I tried to sleep a few hours before the race, and then I didn't. So I got and passed out my chair for half an hour, and then I woke up and I was really tired. And I always choke anyway. It's just that this was I've choked like all my DKCT races and like festival races. I'm just a serial choker, is the real thing. And this was just, I guess I only choked the first game because this is the first race that was more than one game.
I gotta tell you, man, that was an absolutely monster tournament run that you had in that third race. I mean, the second one was still a 33 as well. So, I'm assuming in a tournament format, you'll take any 33s, or kind of where are your standards? What's I guess kind of like your goal time when you go into a race?
Well, I wanted to just play it like a race. I mean, play it like a run, but then I always shit the bed, so then I have to slow down. And maybe that's why I'm a serial choker. But honestly, I had runs today early this morning when I was actually warming up that were, record potential, and then you missed the frame or something, GG. And actually, one of them was, according to Otto, I never watched my own record enough, so I never know, but Otto said I was on pace for a 1 second world record improvement. And then I died in perils in the exact same way I died in this first race, where I threw the barrel and then I rolled and jumped, but I barely missed the platform. Every time something stupid happens and warming up the day of, it always happens again. When I did my GDQ race in 2015, my last GDQ race was in 2015, I had to grind perils for an hour, and I was just to make sure I didn't choke it, and I was the only one that didn't choke it. In short, perils is stupid.
Yeah, it's interesting. We were watching both of you do warm-ups. You'll probably see some people in these warm-ups. They'll go to different levels. They'll work on different segments, other jump rolls. There's so many frame-perfect tricks in this game. Both of you were just doing perils over and over and over again.
Yeah, I normally do the whole game, but I woke up passed out.
Well, we'll make this interview short then, because I'm assuming you're wanting to pass out right after this pretty quickly. So,
there's not really much else to say.
Yeah. Well, GG, man. That was unbelievable races, and best of luck going into the match with KBZ. We got Void in the waiting room. We'll try to get him in here as well, because we'll get a chance to talk to Pichi more later in the tournament coming up on the Final Four. It's unfortunately going to be it for Void, though.
Yeah, GG.
Yeah. Void got, I'm sure he'll tell you both of his first two races he wasn't extremely happy with, but got a high 33. That would have beaten most other people, like 95% of the other races that happened in this tournament that would have won. It's just going up against a low 33. That race was unbelievable before you hit Bird Tut.
Yeah, it's a good thing I wasn't watching.
I was going to ask, are you the kind that watches tournament or that watches the races?
Nope.
Yeah. I think probably a good idea.
I'll see y'all later.
Yeah, dude. Go get some sleep. Best luck in the rest of your tournament.
Peace.
Yeah. And I am joined by the other competitor today, Void. How you doing, man?
Yo, what's up?
Dude, GG, good tournament overall, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, from we've come a long way since last time we talked in the context of this tournament, you were destroying me in our first pool match.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm sure you'll go ahead and you'll go ahead and say it yourself. Probably a little bit fortunate to win that first race, 35, probably not a time you're super happy with.
No, but I was under the impression watching that race that we were, both of us were not, warmed up, so to speak. So we were both making, a lot of stupid mistakes and whatnot.
Yeah, it was, Pichi ended up telling me here when he was on that he basically couldn't sleep last night. Couldn't get any sleep for whatever reason. So he I let him just get out of the booth right now, just go to sleep. So he was pretty tired. So
Yeah, that's fair.
He definitely felt like he was that first race just kind of still waking up. I mean, did you feel like you didn't have proper warm-up time? Are you the kind who likes to warm up quite a bit?
No, not at all. Like I feel like I put in enough practice in the last couple of days to do decently well, but like in game 2 and game 3, just busted out casual 33s, whereas like I was having trouble hitting the frames in World 6. Like hitting tanked up trouble, hitting a jump roll there is like it's a big deal, and the fact that it didn't happen for me like really put me far behind. So at that point, like I was like, well, GG, unless like he screws up, which I was banking on him, like maybe dying at the end of barrels or something to like even it out. But
he took a death there at the end of the first race, so there was still this. Even I don't know if you go back and watch the race. So he lost Diddy on K. Rool and was down to just Donkey. Went for an incredibly tight, went for a super early crownless jump.
Yeah.
And I said, if he whiffs this, this will be the ultimate scoop of scoops.
Yeah.
So
that's a pretty bad way to go to on K. Rool. Like there's not a whole lot that can kill you if you play the fight safely.
Mm-hmm. Well, man.
It's a bit disappointing to go out with 33, but I mean, I gave it my all. I was on PB pace too this run after World 5, but didn't hit a tanked up trouble jump roll, so it goes.
I would like to say, if people want one clip from this tournament so far that I've seen that was really sexy, just watch both of your World 5s side by side. Those were. You hit the super jump roll, then he immediately responded with the super jump roll.
Yeah.
You had good elevator antics, he did. You had a good, the only real difference between the two of you was you hit the jump roll in Minecart Madness and he didn't. Other than that, it was masterful World 5s. It's a thing of beauty watching good World 5s in this game. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's a pretty difficult world.
Absolutely. So what's your feeling, man? You're done with the tournament, very respectable, getting to the quarterfinal matches, and almost just, I would say, a little bit of bad luck that the seeding worked out to where you had to face Pichi in this early a point. Should have been, I think definitely should have been a Final Four matchup.
Yeah, but like I still felt like I had a good chance. Like he's the world record holder, but like in this game, like because the variance of jump rolls, like anything can happen, really. So like I felt like if I would hit like a few jump rolls and he wouldn't, like I could be able to win the match. It didn't happen, of course, but like I didn't feel like disadvantaged as much as it would have been for like a DKC2 race, for example.
Absolutely. This there's a reason why we keep saying in this game you hit the lottery.
Yeah, it's a lottery.
So what's your feeling? You're still sitting at a PD of a 33.02, right?
Yeah.
Is there any part of you that wants to grind for a 32, become the fourth member of the 32 club, or are you feeling like you want to go back to, say, DKC2 or focus on DKC3 right now?
I would like a 32, but it can wait.
Yeah, I can't imagine how frustrating it is to go for a 32 in this game. Not
a race when we raced like a while ago. Like the PB I got there would have been a 32, but like I lost a bunch of time in mincers, so that
I was at that point. I was so far behind. I was like, "Dude, let him just get it. Just get the 32." So, Mincers is a level that it sneaks up on you. It loves to pop up right after you hit Bird Tut. You've kind of nailed the rest of the run.
Yeah, it creeps on you.
So, well, man, this is a great tournament showing by you. Great job just getting the number 1 seed coming out of the pools portion of the tournament and getting to the quarterfinals, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Well, heck yeah, dude. I look forward to more tournaments by you in the future. I know it's always Fun to watch your matches. Know you're an incredibly competitive guy, and
Yeah.
best of luck with PB attempts in the future.
Thank you, thank you. Actually, I'll try to commentate a tournament match or two for the last few rounds of this tourney, since I haven't had the opportunity to do so yet. Yeah.
You got to get knocked out of the tournament before. That's right. I just time getting knocked out real early, dude. It makes that part easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, awesome, man. What? Just go ahead and pimp out your channel real quick. What's going to be your current project? I know you've been working on DKC 300%, maybe, or
yeah, that's what I've been doing in the last few weeks. But I think next month I'm gonna go back to DKC 2 since it's gonna be submission season for AGDQ.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Well, maybe want to see maybe a little, maybe like a 4-way race or something, maybe, or.
Well, that's what I'm banking for. Either that or like maybe a 102 or a warpless race. Who knows? That would be really interesting as well.
I'd like to see a big DKC2 race of some sort. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, me too.
All right, man. Well, best of luck with that as well. And make sure everybody, if you haven't yet, drop this man a follow. Void with a 0 is the first O, in case you can't tell on stream. Make sure to also give Pichi a follow. Again, he's going to be for sure prepping for the DKC1 semifinals coming up. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty of this tournament. We'll see who takes home the crown. Anybody's game at this point. With that, I am Spike Cheetah. I was your commentator for the day. And for Speed Gaming, I think we'll go ahead and sign off. Everyone enjoy more Speed Gaming matches in the future. Have a good day, everyone.
Rolling out.
Rolling deep.